well say what you got to say before you're dead.
And I encourage you to watch it once, twice, 3 times. I love when politicians say
Let me tell you something. You all think me stupid, you know.
If you take offense to it personally, that's your business.
And it's the number one show.
That's the show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Citizens Review. I'm Aaron Ferguson, your host, and this is the olive oil. The reason why I have the olive oil today and prominently displayed, and I ain't trying to do no advertisement for these people, but it seems like Bahamians believe that the Lord and His anointing is in one of these bottles that come from this particular company. So the reason why I have this today is because last week there was a particular, not assault, but particular advance towards taking Citizens Review off of the television air. Now, my guests here today who were here last week, one of them was here last week, didn't know this and I didn't tell him, but we were in the process of being canceled because there's some sponsorship issues and, of course, you know, all these petty business people in the Bahamas like to pull their sponsorship and all of this and that because Citizens Review got too much to say and Aaron Ferguson needs to learn how to stop being so rude and all I continue to say is that if I am incorrect, people would sue. But I've never been sued. Now, people have been sued around me, but I don't ever get no letter. Maybe they're scared of me. I don't know what they're scared of. I am flesh and blood just like everybody else. But just so you know that, you know, every week is a good week when we get Citizens Review back on TV because it could be pulled at any point. So all the people who hug me and tell me we do a good job and all of that, I appreciate you, I thank you, but all of you who have businesses need to come sponsor, put up or shut up, that's the rule. If that offends you, you know, ain't nothing I can do about that. I can't be responsible for everything that offends you. But the show, I think, is necessary. I think it does a good work, if I can say so myself. And it is under threat because there are some powerful people that you all keep voting for what reason I don't know, that don't think we should be on air. So if they succeed one day, we will switch it and go in the next direction. I will not relent, that is for sure. But I just letting you all know in advance. This week's show, we are going to talk to two young men who I attended their graduations personally, and I was impressed, particularly impressed. And the reason why I was impressed is because these young men are not only the head boys of the schools that they attended, but they're also the valedictorians. And in one case, the valedictorian over 2 women salutatorians. And that's not a pro-man message because clearly I am not interested in any gender discrimination. But it is clear that we have an issue in the Bahamas with the advancement of young men. And in light of said issue, I wanted to talk to 2 bright, intelligent young Bahamian men who just graduated from high school and are going to move into the land of the living, the world of the working. So we're going to talk to them today and see what their opinions are. Keith Burrows and Gio Roll. They're here from Akefren Academy, International Academy, AIA, and that's on Bernard Road, Fox Hill. That is headed by Jacinta Higgs, principal. I think Jacinta is doing a wonderful job. I'm going to lend any assistance I have to helping her academy improve and be the best that it could possibly be. And Gio Roll is the head boy and valedictorian of that school. And then we have Keith Burrows, and Keith Burrows attends C.I. Gibson, a school that all of us know to be a very challenged institution, but Keith is here to represent and show what C.I. Gibson has to offer. And he is top man and top academic. So we're going to talk to these two young gentlemen, get some perspective on everything we want to know from young men in school, the best of them, and also find out what's happening to what we may improperly, in my opinion, call the worst of them. So that's going to be our show this week. Because honestly, I am tired of, I'm not talking about the budget. I am not talking about the budget. Don't ask me, don't email me. I don't want to hear about the budget. If you got time to sit down and listen to PLP Dreams twice in 1 year, then that's your business. But I ain't talking about the budget. Don't want to hear about it. Nothing to do with the budget. Feel the dreams. Help and hope is not on the way. Loretta Butler Turner and Andre Rollins, I'll mention that briefly. I ain't going, oh, Jesus Christ, the devil is alive in here. the oil drop, but it's safe. I'll mention that briefly at the end of the show when we do a little commentary, but I'm limited on these things because I am tired of talking about nonsense with people that are obviously not sensible. So, we'll get to some of that. But today I am talking to positive, sensible, intelligent young men, and I'm excited about that, and that's what we're going to do. So up next is Gio Roll and Keith Burrows of Akefren International Academy and C.I. Gibson. Mr. Ombla is the principal of C.I. Gibson. I think he seems like a nice guy to me. I can't really comment on what impacts his ability to do his job because the Ministry of Education is an absolute positive mess. So I don't know how difficult it is for a principal to do what they're supposed to do. But we'll be back in just a minute to talk to these two young gentlemen who will enlighten us on the country, I think. We'll be right back. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Citizens Review. I'm Aaron Ferguson, your host, and I am sitting here with the two gentlemen I was talking about before we went to the break. This is Keith Burrows, the head boy and valedictorian of C.I. Gibson School in Nassau, and this is Gio Roll, the head boy and valedictorian of Akefren International Academy. Now, gentlemen, how y'all doing? Y'all all right?
I'm good.
Y'all ready to talk?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't want y'all getting nervous on camera with me. That ain't gonna work. We ain't getting no information if y'all get nervous. That could work?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, good. Y'all are supposed to be smart, head boy and valedictorian. So y'all are leaders and you're smart. That is going to reign through in this discussion as far as I can say. So y'all, you two have been able to navigate through all of the perils of growing up in Nassau. And I say Nassau because I'm from Freeport and there are other people from the Outer Islands and their experience has been different. How did you all work that out to get to being able to graduate from high school, being the top of your class? I call it top man and top academic. How did that work for you? Yeah, either one of you.
Well, it worked for me because, boy, it was tough.
Yeah?
It really was. Being top of the class,
Yeah.
it came a long way for me because I'm a sports guy.
Okay.
So I was mainly focused on
That's impressive.
sports.
Yeah.
And since I came to my new school, they didn't really have sports, so I had to focus somewhere else.
Okay. What sports do you like?
All basically.
Okay.
Basketball.
How
volleyball.
tall are you? Because you was little,
I was like 6'3", 6'4".
Okay. All right. So me and you about the same height.
I may be taller, but
You may be taller. All right. We can check that when we get off camera. All right. And you any good at these sports since you're so tall?
I was excellent. Normally, I was average or above average.
Okay.
I'll say.
Okay. NBA in the making, Game 7 of the finals is on, by the way, tonight. So I don't anticipate people will watch this until Tuesday at 9 o'clock,
Right.
as opposed to Thursday. But the NBA fixed, in my opinion. You think the NBA is fixed?
In some way, I think it is, but
Yeah.
Like
It cannot be fair. And we can just talk.
Yeah.
The people watching expecting whatever they expect, and we can just have a discussion. So it cannot be that the calls that they make in, for example, you watch Game 6. You watch Game
Yes,
6?
I watch
Okay.
Game 6.
It don't make no sense that 45 seconds all of a sudden takes 15 minutes. When you watch a whole game, as soon as they go into overtime, the first 45 seconds goes in no
Yeah.
time. But when they come down to them last little couple of minutes, it takes forever. Forever, forever, forever. Everything is a foul. Every Jesus thing is a foul. If I was an NBA player, I would, let's say I wasn't all that good, and then I make a couple $1 million, I get out the NBA. I would file a lawsuit against the umpires and the NBA and cause a research study to be done on the last 2 minutes of every finals game, games 6 and 7 of the last 20 years, if there were game 6 and 7 in the last 20 years, and ask that to be compared to the refereeing in the first quarter of all of those games. And I swear there'll be discrepancies as to how the clock is used, how the games are called, all kind of stuff. What do you think?
I agree.
Yeah.
Because the calls, everything's petty calls.
Yeah.
And I say it'll fix because, well, I think not everyone knows it's fixed
Yeah.
in the NBA. Mainly important players or some.
Yeah. But I have a bias. I like Tim Duncan because he's from St. Croix, so he's from the Caribbean. But I also like the Heat because being Bahamian and we just go to Miami. Anyway, let's talk more about the Bahamas and y'all.
Okay.
You have also made it through this Nassau, this education system, and particularly C.I. Gibson. C.I. Gibson is known to be challenging as an institution. How do you do it?
I mean, like he said, it's tough,
Yeah.
but you just gotta keep a steady head, steady mind, and keep focus on your goals.
What about when we were talking a little bit off camera about the other guys, because there are a lot of other guys who don't make it where you guys are. What about those moments in your lives when y'all were faced with challenges that would have made you the other guys? Because I'm sure there were times when y'all were on the edge, like one stupid mistake, one stupid decision, one thing, and all of a sudden the Gio Roll and the Keith Bowers that I'm looking at now that are top of the class, top of the leadership in the school could have been one next to it. How do y'all feel about those moments?
Well,
They could be kind of tough to deal with,
Yeah.
but it's like how you deal with them. You always have to keep a positive
Yeah.
thinking on your problems, and don't try to take the easy way out, and deal with them correctly.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think?
I would say the tough thing is realizing when you're in that problem.
Yeah.
Like noticing when you're with the wrong crowd or doing the wrong thing, and how to deal with it. That'll be my major thing.
Did you have experiences being in the wrong crowd?
Yes, I have met. Well, yeah, I had.
You have many. Okay. I mean, listen, you done make it now, so we can talk about it freely. What kind of experiences? Like, how did you end up in the wrong crowd?
I mean, close friends from before.
Yeah.
They came, and I decided they were my friends. They could still be. I hang with them. They were kind of in the wrong thing,
Yeah.
but I didn't try to be with it, but I still try to stick by them. I noticed them getting in trouble, grades
Yeah.
slipping.
Yeah.
I say, I can't be with them anymore.
Can't work.
Mm-mm.
Can't work. What kind of challenges did you have? What kind of things that put you on the edge of possibly being that other guy?
I mean, in high school, it's plenty things,
Yeah.
but you have to try to stay away from violence and negative friends,
Yeah.
because they'll always bring you down. And I stayed far from.
But isn't it difficult though? I mean, like, they're your friends. They're not always bad people. Some of them mean well. How do you for the other young people out there who are listening and watching? how do you separate yourself from the bad people? Because they just get mad when you do that too.
I mean, it's not that you have to really close yourself off from them completely.
Yeah,
It's just know your boundaries when to be with them.
yeah,
If they're doing something you're uncomfortable with,
yeah.
you don't have to be with them.
Mm-hmm.
But you can still be their friends to talk or chill.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Here's my question. What are they, the other people, given the fact that we know that our education system has challenges, we know that there are issues in the home, parents, falling off on the job, and we know that the pressures of being out in some of the inner city areas, like if you live in places where there's heavy drug trafficking or where there's heavy gang movement, do you think that your counterparts, the young men who we criminalize and who we say are the bad people, because everybody say, oh, these young men, they're running amok. Do you think that they're inherently bad people? You all went to school with these people very recently. You all know some people who didn't finish with you and just out there. Do you think that they're bad, or are they victims too? Are they, what do you think about them? What's your feelings on them? Because a lot of older Bahamians characterize them as criminals. They're criminals, they're idle. The devil is flying work for idle hands to do. What are your feelings about those people who used to be your friends, who you may have separated from, that kind of thing?
I wouldn't classify them as bad, but it's just they're not available to certain opportunities,
Yeah.
and sometimes they don't have any other choice but to stray or.
What do you mean any other choice? That's a big one, because we say that a lot. Like, do you really have a choice? Do you think a lot of the young men that are doing negative things really had a choice? It's a hard question, trust me. The adults, the smart people, quote unquote, don't even have the answers to it. But I want your perspective on it. Do they have a choice? Like, if you grow up in certain neighborhoods, of course there are always the examples like yourselves who make it out. You're good.
Yeah.
But there are plenty more examples of people who don't. Do they really have a choice, or I don't know? What do you think? You know them, you talk to them, you're friends with them.
I would say they don't really have a choice because, okay, other students in my class, teachers will treat them a little different than they treat me.
Okay, like
Because
troublesome kids. Okay.
They'll say I have a good spirit, so if I say something in class or break out, they won't get as mad. But
Yeah.
if they say something, they'll get mad, start growling.
Yeah. So
Try-
that's like a preset kind
Yeah.
of. Okay.
So they probably set them in that way that no matter what I do, I'll get in trouble for it, and they just go along with it.
Okay. What about at CI gigs? I'm sure you have plenty exposure. I've heard people say you can't go to CI. You could get robbed there. You could get. I mean, all kinds of things. Is that true?
No, that's not true. It's just like a lot of students, they really don't have the proper guidance, and some of them feel as if they're destined for this failure.
Yeah.
So I guess they feel like they don't have a choice, so they don't really try hard enough.
Yeah. What about, and you touched on it a little bit, I want to talk about the idea of the student who is they're sort of boxed into this I mean, everything about their surroundings is telling them ain't nothing for you. And, the teacher saying, I know what you, he was a little funny one, you stupid. And then have you all noticed, like, people being in class that actually try and fail a lot and then get discouraged and just give up?
Yes, I have noticed that a lot.
That you notice that a lot. Like, because I met a young man one time, he was in grade 7. And he literally would cry because he could not understand the mathematics. And I would look at it, and I know, obviously, he wasn't given the fundamentals. That was the problem. I put him on Khan Academy, the same thing we was talking about. And this dude, like today, he is like mother sick. I don't know what I would have ended up with. as a life if you didn't give me some sort of tool to get it. Do y'all experience a lot of people in class giving up and feeling like there's no different kind of future for them just because they don't get it?
Well, yes, I have, because I've seen one of my classmates, like all the classes, I've seen them try, and try.
Yeah.
They won't like go to the point they have to cheat all the time, but they'll
Yeah.
keep trying. Normally when they don't get it, they'll ask for help.
Okay.
But I just see when they don't get it, they just give up at a point and just go do what they want and just say it's whatever.
Yeah. Why aren't they getting it though?
I mean, because everyone's not on the same level.
Okay.
Like with me, math is my best subject. Some classes I won't pay attention, I still can get ahead of everyone.
Yeah.
So I can say they weren't as able to do what I could do, and they don't get as fast as I can.
Yeah.
So I'll say they just, they just don't know it.
Yeah. It just ain't.
They don't click to them fast enough.
Yeah. And do you think it would click to them if they had better foundation in the subject? Like if they had a better training when they were younger?
Yeah, I feel it's just that.
Yeah. Because for example, I travel a lot. And when I look at places like the Washington, D.C. school system, you watch them run models where they take kids that were just not getting the fundamentals, teach them the fundamentals, and these kids soar. They're just gone. And they start to get it, and these kids grow confidence and all that. I don't think we give enough credence to the discussion around kids being poorly trained, and so that's when they lose confidence. Because I don't think anybody, do you think anybody wants to be the dumb nigga in class?
I don't think anyone chooses to be.
No. I've never met somebody that wouldn't mind being the smart guy. Now, I want to talk to you all about hypermasculinity and dumbness. So, is it more manly to be dumb in school?
It's not a good feeling, actually.
No?
I actually was not the smartest kid in the class. Because it is a terrible feeling, like, if a teacher asks you a question, everyone just look at you knowing you're about to fail.
Yeah.
And seeing those eyes just staring at you,
Yeah.
it just does something to you. So I can't see it as a good feeling.
Yeah, that don't work for
No.
you. That don't work for you. What do you think? Is there a correlation between being smart and being soft?
I don't think I mean, there's no problem with being smart, because I wouldn't like to be like the dumb last person in the class.
Yeah.
Because even sometimes being second to the first
Yeah.
is kind of painful.
Yeah.
So I can imagine.
Coming from valedictorian, I get your point. But what I'm asking essentially is, because I've heard this a lot, like there are a lot of fellas who try to be tough, so even if they do well on a test, they don't want nobody to see it. Because they don't want you to think, oh, I was one of the geeks, the smart ones. Are y'all geeks? Are y'all nerds? Are y'all, y'all soft?
No.
What do y'all characterize as? In your school, is it cool to be the smart guy?
Actually, now, I would say it kind of is.
In your school?
Yes.
Yeah.
But being a sports guy I was
Yeah.
never classified as
Oh,
geek.
okay, so you come with cool because you was a job. What about you? Is it cool to be the smart guy?
It depends on the people you're around.
Okay.
Some people look at it as cool.
Yeah. But are there people that think it's you corny?
Yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah?
Mhm.
So that's a prevailing thought process. Like, the smart guy is like, but the dumb cool guy, or maybe the jock, not in your case, but the sports guy is much cooler.
I was also in sports, so.
Oh, you
I
played
guess.
sports too. Oh, y'all ain't a fair sample, man. I need one smart, no sports. Oh, Lord. Okay, when we come back from this break, we can take a break, I want to talk about some of the stuff that happens that we don't really talk about. I want to talk about sex, drugs, alcohol. I want to talk about everything that you experienced that your parents may or may not know about, and you may have to talk to them about it when you go home from here. We'll take this break and we'll be right back. Good evening and welcome back to Citizens Review. I'm Aaron Ferguson, your host, and we're here with Gio Roll and Keith Burrows of Kefren International Academy and C.I. Gibson, respectively. Gentlemen, now let's talk. Let's do real talk now. I want to know about drugs in school. Is it available? Do counterparts of yours use drugs other than marijuana or just marijuana? Is that happening?
Well,
Don't talk no foolishness on here. I want the truth, nothing but the truth, and you don't have to answer nobody question when you leave the show. Do people your age smoke weed and do other drugs regularly? Drugs like Molly, ecstasy, at parties. That may be the St. Andrews. That may be a different group. Like the kids in Andrews doing them little specialty ones. But is that a problem?
I don't really know about the other funny drugs.
Yeah, them cute ones. But you know
Definitely.
about the
Definitely marijuana.
okay.
And they're like these days they're experimenting with other kind of drugs like lean and stuff.
Okay. Lean. My dope. That's when you're old. I ain't never heard about lean. What is lean?
It's like medicine
Uh-huh.
that use. I never really knew.
That's the cough syrup one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's like the histotussin.
That's the said.
Tuscasad, yes.
Yeah.
Tuscasad linctus. Okay, good. All right, so people just drinking up the cough syrup, gone.
It's so easy to use anything as a drug. So
Yeah.
like students just so available. It's so available that then they could just use it as freely as they want to.
Yeah. And do you think there are a lot of people that go overboard with it? Or people, yeah? A lot of people go overboard?
Definitely.
Yeah. Like, when you say overboard, you mean like base out on the weekends?
I mean, like they're addicted, like can't stop.
Can't stop. You mean with weed?
Well, I don't know. I just try not to hang with them, but
Yeah.
I could tell they.
Yeah, I just
addicted.
want information that you may have, vicariously through other people. But yeah, so you've seen addiction, you've seen overuse, all of that kind of stuff. What about
Yes.
alcohol? Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I mean, some students they can't stay away from it. They even
Yeah.
have to use it in school.
Oh
Like,
wow.
they'd go in the bathrooms and
Yeah. And that's probably not smoking though, because smoking is hard to. Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess smoking. All right. Well, that's sick. Y'all serious? What about alcohol?
I wouldn't consider alcohol as bad.
No.
It's still a problem if
Yeah.
you get addicted, but it's not as bad.
Yeah.
Because turning 18,
Yeah.
I walked up to my mother and be like, let me some money. We go out. She'd
Yeah.
probably ask what I'll go drink. I say, you see in the morning probably.
What's the drink of choice for young people nowadays?
Well, I like beers. I
You
will
like
not
beer?
lie.
Okay. All
I
right.
can
Used
take-
to be him, man. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Take a few mixed drinks, but mainly beers.
Yeah. Okay. But what about overuse? Because I mean, a lot of us socially drink. I don't drink at all, because I never was interested. But I mean, what is? Is there a lot of overuse? Is there a lot of abuse amongst young people?
I wouldn't think so.
not with alcohol.
Not
really.
with alcohol, really. Okay, so more drug use than alcohol. Why do you think that is? Like, are they running from something? They scared of something? Depressed about something? Things tight.
I guess because alcohol may kind of be harder for them to get.
Alcohol is harder to get than drugs.
Well, on the way.
Yeah, you think so?
Because with marijuana, some
Yeah.
people could get for free.
Yeah,
Some people probably might grow their own plants or something,
yeah.
so they can get that for free.
Do you think marijuana should be legalized? Both of you.
Well, not being a person who smokes, I would consider yes, because after what friends have told me,
Yeah,
what does it really do for you?
yeah.
Do you get it in seizures? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
That's from what friends told me.
But based on what
When
you
I get a
heard, yeah.
seizures, nothing. They said nothing really happens to them.
Yeah. What do you
Prob-
think about marijuana? Legalize it?
I mean, I ain't too sure about.
You're not sure. What my biggest issue with marijuana is the number of people that look like us that get arrested and get put to jail for marijuana. And then all of a sudden you have a police record with a drug charge on it and you can't go to the States. And, once you can't go to Miami, you can't even be a good heat fan. And
I mean,
But
it's just so popular, you don't know what to do with it.
yeah. But do you think it's reasonable that, for example, if you have like 2 joints on you, you go to jail for 18 months?
No, I don't feel
I don't think so.
as if
That doesn't
it's
make sense to you.
probably a warning. Or
Yeah, like a fine, or it's like a
Something.
traffic violation kind of thing.
like
Yeah.
speeding or
Yeah.
they catch me once. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, all right. Sex, prevalent in school. Are people actually having sex in the school?
Well, I have a couple of rumors.
Yeah, see, I guess the answer is yes. All right, so people having sex in the school. Okay, you don't have to say no more. How prevalent is sex? I know a lot of girls having babies. That big. I need to get into the Pampers business, note to self. But what's the deal with sex? Are people having sex younger and younger? Like, are people having sex regularly at 15, 14,
Sometimes younger.
13?
Well, yeah, I'm not too sure the ages, but I
Yeah.
feel that's getting younger.
And when I say regular, I mean like regular. Like,
I know.
yeah, like every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you ain't going without a month without that kind of thing.
Oh.
Y'all getting nervous on this discussion? Oh, Lord.
No.
Okay, so are people using protection?
Yes, I would say so.
Yeah? Because if people weren't, we would have like 10 times more babies, right? Based on the usage. Okay, what about STDs? Are people educated about STDs? Are people going to get tested for AIDS? Are people, no?
I
Nobody
think some
getting
people
tested?
scared to go in.
Some people scared to get tested.
And the fact that
It's a very nerve-wracking experience. I try to do it every once a month or twice a month, but because I give blood, so I try to keep
Okay.
myself tested. But what are people trying to be aware, or yes, no?
No, I don't
Some
think
people
so.
they just seem they don't care anymore. They just
If they have it, they have it.
Yeah, they're just doing it.
And some people don't tell their parents they have sex, so they get checked and everything.
Yeah, so it's hard to get
Yeah.
checked. Yeah. Do you think you should be allowed to get checked as a minor? Like, if you're 14 and you're having sex, you don't want to tell your parents, but you would go get checked. Do you think minors should be able to go get checked?
I still believe if you're a minor, you should need to tell your parents.
Yeah. So, I mean, but what if, okay, so I'm 15, I having sex, I'm a guy, and I start getting a little tingling. There's something don't feel right in the morning. I cannot tell my father. I can't tell my mother. It just ain't gonna work out. So, do you think in that situation a young man should be able to go to a doctor that responsibly treats them and keeps their privacy, or do you think they should have to take their parents?
Well, I believe they should be able to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
But if it's something serious,
Yeah.
they'll have to go
Then
to their
they have
parents.
to tell the parents.
Yes.
Okay, all right, that's reasonable. Because there's a lot of discussion around like young people being able to. Well, in the U.S., there's a lot of discussion around girls under 18 getting abortions. What about abortions? A lot of people getting abortions.
I don't
I
really know.
wouldn't
Yeah,
know.
they just keep that under wraps.
Yeah, friends, even though how close you are, some
Yeah.
will not tell you that
They
they're
ain't gonna tell you
pregnant.
that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But I guess we could imagine that with the amount of sex that you think is being had and the amount of lack of protection that's being used and the low yield on babies, then somebody get an abortion somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What about trading for sex? There's a lot of discussion in the, cutters. So bamboo shack snack for sex, $5 card for sex, $5 phone card. You hear a lot about that. Does that happen?
Well, I've heard about it, but I've yet to met a girl
Yeah.
that does that.
You haven't met her. Okay, that's not assuming that you would give it a $5 card. Oh Lord, I having too much fun here today. Okay, so, but is it prevalent as far as you know? Does that happen a lot? Is there a lot of trading, or
Yeah.
people it's just free,
I hear
Yeah,
about a lot.
basically free
Yeah.
from what you know?
Depending on like the type of guy, I'll say.
Yeah,
Like maybe the cool guy everyone knows.
Yeah.
Girls might want him more, so they'll freely go to him.
yeah. Okay, and what kind of sex is being had, if you don't mind? Like, is it a lot of oral sex, or is it a lot of like real big time?
I'll say
going?
mixture.
Mixture. Okay. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, let's talk about quality of education. What do you think that you were well served by what you learned?
Yes.
Yeah.
From
What
both
about you?
schools.
Real quick. Hold on.
Maybe.
You think
It
so?
was good enough. Yeah, it was alright.
Do you think if I put you in a classroom with 12th graders from Finland, number 2 education system in the world, Japan, number 1, trading off with Finland, the United States, dumbest developed country in the world, these are facts, I ain't making this up, because they have, the school system in Florida, Washington, D.C., some of the worst ever. But if I put you with some Chinese high schoolers, 12th graders, graduate from Chinese schools, Japanese schools, Finnish schools, and maybe let's say Spain, you think you'd be able to compete?
I wouldn't say compete as much, but don't be the one left out.
Okay.
Not be the one behind, or like how some of my friends were, just sitting there.
Yeah. Do you think that you would be, so for example, in China, to graduate high school, they teach you basic programming language on computers? Anywhere there, near there in your education?
Yeah.
Basic programming language? Oh, send my children to Catherine. Anything to do with computer programming, anything like that at your school?
I mean, not really. If it's optional
Yeah.
to go into computer
Okay.
technology, but
Speaking of optional, civics. What about civics? Now, I am led to believe that you learned a lot about civics, about the Bahamas at a
Yes.
Catherine. What about in C.I. Gibson? Is that optional?
it's only a 1-year course.
Okay.
You only do it in grade 10, and
Okay.
then
And what do you
finish.
learn about?
like just common things,
Mhm.
political.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't really get too deep. It's just common,
Not nearly.
not too advanced.
Not satisfying, really.
No,
Yeah, it don't do the job.
no.
You don't really come out there learning, singing the song and and dancing to the national anthem. What about a Catherine? What do you learn?
Well, we do go more in depth with some stuff.
In depth how? Like, give me some.
Like, okay, well, how we're African school.
Okay.
We learn about African history.
Yes.
We learn.
Do you learn African history juxtaposed to European history? Like, do you learn both sides of the story?
Well, I would say yes, but not being there as long as I could have.
Yeah.
As 1, 2.
You were there for 2 years, right?
Yes.
Okay. Where were you before?
Well, I was in St. Anne's.
Okay. You'd be surprised. I sat in I only asked you that so people could hear, but I sat in the crowd next to a young man who went to St. Anne's, and I was sitting in the very last row of your graduation, and he sat next to me and he said, oh yeah, go Gio. And I was like, oh, you know him? And he was like, yeah man, he's always smart. And then I sat next to a friend of mine in your graduation, and he said, these Burroughs people, they sensible, because I graduated with one of his cousins who was top of the class, and then one of his next cousins who was top of the class. I was like, okay, there's a thing here, something going on. It's just amazing that in both your graduations, I spoke to random people who, one was my friend, but another one was a random person in your graduation who just thought well of you, who sort of had an idea that you would be where you are. Did you all have an idea, though? Did you know? Did you know that you would be head boy in valedictorian?
No, not really.
No?
Not first entering.
No?
No.
Did you know this year?
Head boy.
Obviously head boy.
Yeah, head
Yeah,
boy.
I know.
But
The
valedictorian, was it a race
That's
to
a
the
surprise.
finish?
It just hit me deeply.
Yeah,
When a teacher told me, smiling,
yeah, yeah.
and he wasn't supposed to tell me.
And you were in a close race.
Yes,
Okay,
very. One of
very
my best
close.
One of my best friends, very close. I think by 0.0 something.
A girl?
Yes.
Okay, and you beat her. Feels good.
Yes, very
Like
good.
he said, number 2 is a loser. No, that ain't no truth, but go ahead.
Yeah, what was that?
You were saying about becoming valedictorian.
Oh yeah, become a valedictorian.
Yeah,
I didn't expect that as much because I was smart but not one to push my hardest.
yeah.
So I like want to pass, but if I fail, it wouldn't upset me like how some people just cry all day.
Yeah,
And valedictorian wasn't expected for me.
okay. What
Yeah.
about you? You had a hot contest too, right? It was...
That was alright.
He's like, it was close-ish.
I mean, I had a clue.
Yeah, that you were
Mm.
going to be it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to talk about this with y'all too. Haitian immigration. You graduated valedictorian, but the two salutatorians, y'all are two, which is interesting to me. They were both people of Haitian descent, two young women, right?
Yeah.
And I talk a lot about on this show about our challenge with immigration and how we're so limited in how we think about it. What do you guys think about Haitian immigration? Like, you've went to school with people that are of Haitian descent. Are they really aliens or are they normal people?
They're normal. I would say so.
Nothing different?
No.
I mean, I just have to ask because there are some people who think that they're from another planet. So I just have to make sure that they black and regular just like us. Normal?
Yeah, they're normal.
Okay. All right. What about, do you think that they should be sent back? Like Haitians need to go back to where they're from? We can get into a little bit more national issues. I want your opinions. Think Haitians need to get out of the Bahamas like some people think, or do we need to figure out something else?
I think like once they come in legally, and
Yeah.
everyone should have an opportunity for better.
Let me ask you a question, and this is a big one. I was at Emory University, and one of the scholars at Emory and myself were battling over this issue with some other people who are a little more conservative. Do you think at any point it is okay for a person to be deemed illegal? It's a hard question, but if I asked the 12th graders in China and Finland, I'm sure they'd have an answer. So y'all tell me you could compete, let's go. Do you think that a person should be called an illegal? Does that wording bother you a little bit?
I mean, it's kind of harsh for.
It's kind of harsh, right?
For
What do
humans.
you think about the church in the Bahamas being supportive of that language? Like, I've heard pastors in churches, of course these people follow quote unquote Christ,
Yes.
and they say things like the illegals and protect the borders, and where's the border for a Christian? You think there should be a border? These are questions. I can keep shooting these and y'all gonna give me something, or y'all gonna just stay quiet. Give me something. Is there a border? Should people be called illegal? What would you think if you were like, do you have family members that go off to school and would prefer not to come back to the Bahamas and stay in the States?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you consider them illegals?
No.
Yeah. They're just hardworking people that want an opportunity, right?
Yeah.
Sounds strange to then look at.
Yeah.
Funny, eh? Imagine if the tsunami, remember that one that was out there after the earthquake in Haiti? Imagine if it had hit the Bahamas. What do you think we would do? We'd all become a bunch of little illegals.
Boy.
Okay, let's move to the next issue. Because that one, I stumped you over that. Obviously, they don't talk about that in school. But what about, gay people? It's a big one. Gay people. A lot of Bahamians think. So the big ones are immigration, gays, crime, what else? The economy, unemployment among youth. So let's get to these. Gay people, gay marriage. Any of y'all?
I don't mind once no gay person really comes around me.
Yeah. What makes you think? Where's the preoccupation that a gay person will come for you? Is that an automatic?
I mean,
For example, there's a lot of discussion that, like, let's say you're in a locker room, you're a sports guy,
Yeah.
and a gay guy is in the locker room. Do you think he automatically wants every guy in there? Or-
no.
Okay.
As we have our certain types,
Yeah.
I'm sure they have their certain types.
Okay.
I wouldn't say he won't come after one of us, but
Yeah.
I'm sure he will.
Come after. Is he a predator?
Okay, I mean, I'm just sure he will probably favor one of us at least.
Yeah.
I want us in thought.
Okay. But, is it offensive to you when you favor a girl and she say no? You think she feels forever uncomfortable that you like her?
No.
Okay. We're checking. These are the same human beings we talking about, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Just ask him. What do you think? Gays? Gay marriage?
I wouldn't approve of it, but
You wouldn't? No? Why not?
I guess I don't really see it as something
Yeah.
positive, but
Okay.
like everyone have their own.
Would you at least put in for them not to be discriminated against?
Yeah, they shouldn't be discriminated.
Nobody should be discriminated against. Okay. All right. Crime. What do you think about crime? Can we solve the crime problem? Do you think legalizing marijuana would help with the crime problem?
Kind of.
Yeah?
Yeah, it could.
It could? I think so. It seems pretty simple to me. If 49% of murders is due to drugs, then, work
Yeah,
with the
basically.
drugs. Okay. What else, what other issues in the Bahamas? Unemployment amongst young people. Like, what is, are a lot of your friends out of work?
Well, I was supposed to graduate last year due to
Okay.
the fact I went away. But a lot of my friends from last year are still unemployed.
Mm-hmm.
I guess because, I don't know, one of my friends just grew out their hair.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's for that.
Oh, let's talk about that as we continue to go. Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, they grew out their hair. Some don't have all the BJCSEs
Yeah.
they would like.
Mhm.
Some wasn't smart in class.
Yeah.
It's just different things why people aren't employed.
What there's this deal with discrimination on the look of a Bahamian. So if you have dreads, you can't get a job. Does that make sense?
No.
No.
Okay. What about if you have like any hair, you can't get a job? Like, how does this work? Tattoos, can't get a job.
Well-
Piercings, can't get a job. Does any of that make sense to you?
Not at all.
No.
Why not?
Because when I want to get my ass passed,
Yeah.
I begged my dad. He didn't agree.
Mhm.
I was trying to find a suitable reason why, and I just couldn't.
Yeah.
Why I couldn't? Yeah.
Why what?
Like
Why
he
you couldn't
didn't-
get
why,
it?
Yeah, why you didn't want me to get it? He always
Okay.
said it'll be a bad luck on you.
Okay. So he's trying to protect your image for this
Yeah.
these jobs.
But I would say, even if I take them out, it's not noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
But still, that even if I kept them in, what would you see bad about me?
Yeah.
That I'll be a thug?
Yeah.
That I trying to disrespect my parents?
Yeah.
I go against them all the time?
Is there any correlation between dreads and weed to you?
I guess because of the Bob Marley icon, everyone
Yeah.
kind of.
So if you have dreads, you smoke weed. Does that still make sense to you?
That's the image, but I don't think
That's
so.
the image. Okay. What about do you see negative images when you see people with dreads, with tattoos, with earrings? Do you see negative images? Because that's what they're rebelling against. They're saying, okay, that nigga ain't productive. He does not look productive. Does that bother you at all? Like, does that affect how you see people?
Honestly, yes.
You-
like if
okay.
I'm walking down the street. by
So then,
myself-
what you resisting your daddy for?
No, I mean, okay, earrings. I don't
Okay,
really see
so
that
earrings
wrong.
is okay.
Yeah.
Does earrings make you gay anymore?
No.
They don't do that no
No.
more. Okay, all right. That was in when I was a child. When I was a child, you got earrings, you're a sissy. But now, okay, so earrings is cool now. In fact,
I'll say
earrings
so.
make you a pretty boy, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's smiling. Can't lie now. Okay, so what about like, what about this idea of tattoos being like all over your body tats? What's the deal?
I think like people should just be modest in what
Yeah.
they do, but
What if they don't want to be modest?
I mean that's their choice.
Yeah.
I don't think they should be discriminated for it, but
Okay. Last question. Religion. Does anybody young go to church anymore?
Actually, a lot of my friends, well,
Right.
not the close ones I have now, but a lot of them really talk about church.
Yeah.
Some trying to get me to their teen youth group
Okay.
and stuff. So I would say we still in the church.
What
somewhat.
about you? You think a lot of young people go to church still?
I mean a good amount.
A
But
good
it
amount?
depends on what they're going for.
Yeah. What they go to church for then? What else is go to church for? Oh, please
Some just
tell
go
me.
to socialize.
Some is go to socialize. Some go to eat.
Yeah.
I've heard the people go to church to eat. People go to church for sex. There's a
No,
lot of church and
I
sex
wouldn't
talk.
say everyone go to church, or a lot of good amount go to church for sex.
Yeah.
There might be like one or two.
Yeah.
But some might just
Like
go
the fine gals.
some might go just to see a special someone.
Yeah. Oh, that's so sweet. You put that so nice. It sounds so wonderful. You treat your girlfriends nice.
Of course.
Oh, you sound like you was a mover and a shaker. I can leave you alone. Okay. Last words. Y'all have anything that you want to tell people? People should know from two bright, intelligent. Y'all are our best. Y'all are the head boy valedictorians. How many other head boy valedictorians do we have? I wonder if we have any others.
And I'm not sure, but I have
Yeah.
heard a lot of valedictorian boys now.
Yeah?
Actually,
So that's like a resurgence.
I mean, from
They've
the
been
past,
girls for a little bit.
Yeah, from the
Yeah.
past couple graduates I've been to,
Yeah.
I've heard a lot.
Okay. All right. Okay. Any last words?
But I would like to say, for friends who in the wrong company and don't know how to get out of it,
Yeah.
don't be too afraid to leave.
Yeah.
If it doesn't make you better in life,
Yeah.
there's no point being with it.
Mm-hmm.
Just do what you can do
Mhm.
to get better
Yeah.
and be more successful.
Exactly. Okay. What about you? The last words?
I just think that the young people should be positive
Yeah.
about everything they do, because in this time, like, it's a lot of struggles,
Yeah.
and like it may be hard to deal with. That's why some may resort to crime, and
Mm-hmm.
but just stay positive, look for support from positive people,
Yeah.
and you should move forward.
Okay. Let me ask you, mentorship. Is there a lot of that going on? Do you feel, do people mentor you? Do you feel like you have good mentors, good people to look up to and talk to? And I mean, talk to about things maybe you can't tell your parents, but you could talk to them about it. Do you feel like you have a lot of access to that?
I would say I do.
You do? Okay. What about you?
Yeah, you have a good few.
Yeah, a good few. Okay. Last question. If you could say the most important detail about your existence that has allowed you to get where you are, who would that be?
Well, I'll say my best friends.
Yeah.
They've really pushed me through it, and my
Okay.
mother.
Your
They've
mother.
really pushed me through it.
Your mother is a big fan of
Yes.
Citizens Review, by the way.
I know.
She made
That's why I
that
had to
very
say
clear
this.
to me. Yes, your mother.
But mainly my best friends.
Okay.
They've pushed me through it and make sure I've done my work.
Okay.
Some of them secretly text my mother, telling them when I have work and I don't want to do it.
Oh, so they are really
Yeah.
inspiring and helpful figures. Like accountability partners. I have accountability partners, people who keep me in check, people who know the real me, and they say, listen, this ain't like you. You got to get this together.
Yeah.
So your best friend sort of molded that. What about you? Most critical detail that got you where you are?
I mean, I always remember this Bill Cosby quote. It says, "You don't know the key to success,
Yeah.
but the key to failure is trying to please people."
Mm.
I just think that you should always do what is in your best interest,
Yeah,
and always stay focused on your goals,
yeah.
and don't let anyone affect you in
Yeah.
a negative way.
The reason why I brought you on here, so that you know, is you quoted Howard Thurman during your graduation speech. And Howard Thurman is the former dean of Howard University's chapel, where I went to school. I think he was the host of the Martin King and Malcolm X debates when they used to have that back in them days. Howard Thurman is such a moving figure. I mean, he has a series of lectures called Deep River, where he talks about the struggle of the Negro from Africa into the New World. And I just found it so exciting that you quoted Howard Thurman. So just so you know, that's why I brought you on. But I think, I'm impressed by both of you. I think that y'all have some bright futures. I'll certainly be in touch so I can see how I can help in any way possible. But thanks for coming on the show today. I
No problem.
appreciate you. I appreciate your opinion. You've been honest about some things that are difficult to talk about. Y'all know the closing out phrase? All right. Well, I can say it first, and then y'all got to say it with me now. We can see how classy all this. It's, we are but dust, and to dust we shall return. So you might as well say what you got to say before you're dead. Y'all got that?
I think so.
All right, let's go. 1, 2, 3. We are but dust, and to dust we shall return. So you might as well say what you got to say before you're dead. That's our show this week, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, I having fun talking to sensible people. I am not talking about politicians this week. I will talk about them silly folk next week. Or maybe not. But keep watching Citizens Review and we'll see. Remember, put up or shut up. If you like the show, you got a business, support the show. Otherwise, it'll be off one of these days, and I would have done my part. Gentlemen, thank you very much. I had a wonderful discussion. We have to do this more. more often with some more people. And I would love to have a discussion with them, 2 young Haitian women that you graduated with. They may have some interesting perspective. See y'all next week.